Hola muchachos, good morning or good afternoon. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Today we are actually going to begin a little section in chapter 4.2, so chapter 4, lesson 2. And we honestly, guys, are aware of the time frame here. We only have a few weeks left of school, and I know that last week of school is your finals week. Now, we are actually going to take our final a little bit before, just because we are distance learning, so I have to get things done a little bit earlier on my end with our program. So your final for this class will actually be on Friday, May 18th. Okay, and that will allow us for a couple of days the following week. If anybody's absent or didn't get to finish, there'll definitely be time for that the following Monday and Tuesday before you guys have your final schedule, which I know is a little different from other campuses, to complete your tests. But we are going to be taking it a little bit earlier than the rest of your classes. So with that being said, you guys can already kind of figure out that we only have several days left in this class. So I didn't want to just do a bunch of review because, you know, we didn't do too many new things, being that I started with you guys a little bit later in the semester. So I don't want to just keep reviewing things that, you know, you guys seem to be getting a good grasp of. So my idea is for the last few days of class before your final, we're going to go over at least your vocabulary and then one grammar lesson in this chapter. We're not going to get to the entire chapter like we've done in the past with the previous ones. But I at least want to, you know, touch base on it. That way when you move on to Spanish 2 next year, you kind of have a little bit of a, you know, of a head start on this chapter. So we'll try to do as much as we can in this 4.2 chapter. Like I said, it'll probably just be vocabulary and then one grammar lesson. It'll be a stem changing verb lesson, which you guys are pretty familiar with, but it'll introduce you to a new stem change in the verbs. So yeah, we just have several days left before your final, and there will be a couple days of review. I just didn't want to have, you know, 5 days of review. So we'll do a little bit of this chapter, introduction, and then a couple of days of review because your final will cover everything that we, you know, went over in since I came in the picture. So we'll have a couple of days of review and then the final on Friday. Okay? Just kind of want to give you guys a heads up of what's coming next week. In that last week of school, the 21st to 25th, I believe it is, again, you guys have your, you know, your set final schedule, which I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but I hear that, you know, you guys come in to test in the last 3 days of school. We actually won't be doing any connections due to the program that we're in. Again, I have to finish a little bit earlier, so we actually won't have any connections or assignments on Google Classroom that very last week of school. I'll be sending you guys some things to work on those the last several days that last week, but it won't be like this, you know. Again, just the way a program works, I have to end a little bit sooner. But with that being said, if you guys have any questions regarding that, please feel free to message me. I'm sure maybe some will come up, but just send me a little message. I've been hearing from a lot of you guys, and I appreciate that, regarding assignments, regarding your grades, what can I do, what is my grade. So please feel free to message me with any of that. I'm pretty good about responding to those. All right, so let's look at page 289, en página 289 de sus libros. Again, this is chapter 4. We're going to be going over our vocabulario today, okay? So, like we usually do when introducing a new chapter, we go down this list. I know it's a lengthy list, but I'll try to go through it as quickly as possible, where you guys are able to hear the pronunciation of that word, what that word means, and give you a chance to kind of practice pronouncing that word yourselves. So, in the past, what I have done, and I can't confirm this, but you guys can be repeating after me when I say that word. Whether you do it whole group or individually, just kind of repeat after me once you hear that word, okay? So let's begin with making purchases section. in our jewelry. Oh, and I guess I should have introduced this a little bit earlier. I'm sorry about that. But this chapter is about making purchases, how to buy in a different country, phrases you can use to exchange, conversation about buying things and money and, things that you may find in a store. So let's go down this list. For ring, we're going to go down with jewelry first. Ring is el anillo. El anillo. Earring, el arete. But of course, we typically talk about both earrings in the plural form, right? So that would be los aretes. Los aretes. The necklace, el collar. El collar. And I can actually just say it one time. I know I've been saying it twice, but you guys can repeat after me that first time. Jewelry. So talking about jewelry in general. Las joyas. Gold. El oro. Silver. La plata. And bracelet. La pulsera. So again, this is all talking about jewelry. Now let's look at some words pertaining to music and videos. And muchachos, when I was going over this list, I kind of had to go back and see what year this book was from. Because as you can see, we have like radio tape player, compact disc, a cassette, a VCR, things that we don't use anymore, really. So I found that this book was from 2000 and I think it was either 2000 or 2001. So, several years ago when these things were probably still in use. I believe I was in 2000. I was in 7th grade, and I had a cassette player. I had a Walkman. But people don't know what those are anymore, or they don't use it anymore. So, you may not use this vocabulary now because there's things that we don't use, but for the sake of our exercises that we're going to be using in just a few minutes, we kind of need to be familiar with these terms, okay? So let's go down them anyways. A cassette is el casete. El casete. A compact disc or a CD, right? El disco compacto. Disco compacto. Radio, notice, is exactly the same spelling, just a little different pronunciation. So radio is el radio. El radio. The radio tape player. Maybe wondering what the heck that is, but it's a little cassette player that also had FM and AM radio. El radio casete. So you can see we just put radio and cassette together. Radio and casete. El radio casete. Radio tape player. For video, again, another one that's exactly the same spelling, just a little different pronunciation. Video is el video. Video. The VCR. Videograbadora. Let me say that one again. La videograbadora. So we have the word video there. And grabadora meaning like a recorder. So videograbadora, a video recorder. The video game, this one we may, we do use quite often now. El videojuego. El videojuego. Let's move on to handicrafts. And handicrafts are very popular whenever you travel in, the markets out there in the foreign countries. You may find a lot of markets with things made from hand, handmade goods. So a lot of like pottery, a lot of leather items, a lot of jewelry, handmade jewelry. So that's what handicraft is. And we call that in Español la artesanía. La artesanía. So this just refers to any kind of craft made by hand. And again, those are very popular in those markets that you visit when you travel. So for leather goods, some types of artesanías here. Leather goods is Los artículos de cuero. So artículos meaning items or goods. Cuero is leather. So again, leather goods. Los artículos de cuero. The handbag, la bolsa. So any kind of purse or bag, la bolsa. Boots, las botas. And wallet, la cartera. So all of these may be leather goods. Artículos de cuero. La bolsa, las botas, and la cartera you typically see in a lot of mercados or markets that are made from leather. Artículos de cuero. Ceramics, la cerámica, another type of artesanía, another type of handicraft. La cerámica. Belt, el cinturón. Pitcher, la jarra. Pot, la olla. And plate, el plato. So as you can see, let me see, this kind of jumps around again. Belt might be another example of artículos de cuero, another leather good. And ceramics, we may have the pitcher, the pot, and the plate. So la cerámica pueden ser, they could be la jarra, la olla, and el plato. So all of these are examples of artesanías, handicrafts. And this is actually the only part of our vocab that we'll go over today. Not to say that we won't go over these, but I want to kind of break it up so I'm not to overwhelm you with all of these words. I know it's a long list. We'll kind of break it up however we see need to. Okay, so today we're going to be mainly going over, making purchases in our vocabulary list. So we're going to go over this part. Whenever we get into our grammar lesson talking about stem changing verbs, then we'll kind of jump around to this side of the vocabulary. You will see your vocab, though, on Quizlet. I will ask you guys to log into Quizlet, as usual, towards the end of class if you have a little bit of time, and you'll be kind of exposed to all of these words and kind of get to practice with those, okay? But we will come back to the rest of these. Today, I just want to focus on this little section, okay? Especially because, like I said, we may not get through the entire chapter, so there may be words that we may not even get to look at. So, for the sake of time, we'll just kind of focus on whatever we're looking at for that lesson. Okay, so if you guys could turn now to página 274, 274, we're going to be doing a couple of these activities to practice with that vocabulario. Okay, so on page 274, we're going to do actividad 3. And we're also going to be doing actividad 4 from página 275. So we're going to be looking at these two activities here. So in your notebooks, muchachos, if I could ask you guys to prepare your notebooks for these activities. You're going to title your page. And again, you guys can pause whenever you need to kind of get your notebook set up. We're going to title your page Capítulo 4.2 Vocabulario, Chapter 4.2 Vocabulary. We're going to be doing actividad 3, activity 3, en página 274, on page 274. And as you can see, we have 10 little questions to answer here, so I'm going to number it 1 through 10. You guys need to see what to look on here. Okay? So actividad 3 says, completa la carta de Rosa con una de las expresiones. Complete Rosa's letter. So Rosa wrote a letter, and as you can see, each little blank has a number that's going to be filled in with one of our vocabulary words that we just went over. Okay? So to make this a little bit easier on us, since we were just introduced to this vocabulary, I don't expect you guys to know what these words mean already without going back to your vocab. So what I suggest for you guys to do is take those words from this word bank here, add them to your notebook. So I made a little section to the side, vocabulary. I made a list of those words, and then I wrote the translation of it on the side. So you may want to look on in your in your vocabulary list, that we just went over to find the translations. If not, you can just copy what I have here. So we remember artículos de cuero is leather goods. Cartera is wallet. Cinturón is belt. El mercado is the market. Olla was my pot, one of those ceramic objects. Pagar, we didn't actually go over this one. That was in a separate list, but it was just that one word, so I just decided to kind of add it here. Pagar is one of those AR verbs. If you remember, that means to pay. To pay. Para, they actually give us para. Hold on one second, guys. My computer locked me out, so I'm not able to see what I'm recording. Okay, there we go. Para is actually giving it to us here. We're going to go over that in just a second. Para means for or in order to. So that's where I got para from. And I made a little star there because it's actually not in my vocabulary list. I got it from my activity here. Precio means price. And regalo means gift. So if you need to pause right now to copy this down, you may do so. Once you have that, we can go ahead and practice or put these words into practice here. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm looking here and I'm seeing that we have 10 blanks but 9 words. We'll go down the list together. We'll figure it out. I just realized that. It's okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we have our 1 through 10 list. We have our vocabulary that we're going to use with a little cheat sheet there to kind of know what those words mean. And let's figure out what word can go in each blank. We're going to do Actividad 3 together, you guys. Okay, we're going to do it together. So kind of follow along with me as I read this letter and figure out what word can best fit into it. Before, I want to go over that word para. So again, this was not in our vocabulary list, but they kind of give us a little note here, a nota. Use para, which means for or in order to, depending on my context, to indicate these 3 things. So you can use para to indicate the recipient of items, who receives a gift. Por ejemplo, el regalo para tu mamá, the gift for your mom. And sorry, this makes a shadow there. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. You can also use para to indicate purpose, like what I'm using it for. Vamos al restaurante para comer. Remember, vamos we saw in that last chapter, 4.1, which means to go. We go to the restaurant to eat, or in order to eat, right? That's the other definition of para. Or you can also use it to indicate an implied purpose. So, tengo dinero para comprar algo. I have, remember, tengo means I have money to, in order to buy something. So these are 3 instances where you'll be able to use para here. Okay? Alright, so now let's go through our carta, our letter, and see what word would best fit in each blank. So the way we're going to do this, I'm not going to have you guys rewrite this whole carta, right? For the sake of time. So that's where our list comes in, 1 through 10. So wherever we see numero 1, that's where we'll write our answer numero 1 in our list here. Okay? All right. Querida Emiliana, dear Emiliana, hoy voy al blank con mi prima Sofía. So you may remember, voy means to go, right? Hoy voy al blank con mi prima Sofía. So today I go to blank with my cousin Sofía. What word may best fit in there? Remember, we're looking at our word bank here. And we also have our little cheat sheet vocabulary here. So where could I be going with my prima Sofía? Which one would make more sense? I would think mercado, right? So we have mercado and número 1. And I'm actually going to zoom out so you guys can see both of these things going on at once, okay? So I wrote my número 1 with the word mercado. So, hoy voy al mercado con mi prima Sofía. I'm going to the market with my cousin Sofía. Tengo que comprar un blank de cumpleaños, blank, mi mamá. So hopefully these words are kind of, coming back to you guys. I know a lot of these words you didn't see with me, but I'm pretty sure you saw with your previous teacher in the last semester or so, okay? So I have to buy a blank de cumpleaños for birthday. Cumpleaños means birthday. Blank mi mamá. So I have to buy a what? What is something I could be buying for a birthday? So here, let me see. I already used Mercado, so I'm going to kind of do a little check there. What can I be buying for a birthday? What word would make sense there? I would think regalo, right? Regalo meaning gift. So tengo que comprar un regalo de cumpleaños para mi mamá. Remember, we can use para to indicate the recipient of an item. My mom is going to be receiving that present, that regalo. So número 3, I would put para. And at the end, we'll kind of read the letter together with the words in the blank to make more sense. Ella quiere una blank negra. She wants a blank black. She wants something black. What is something that I could have that could be black? And it has to be a feminine noun because look at my adjective is feminine. Negra. It doesn't say negro, it says negra. So that tells me that it's going to have to be a feminine noun. So let's see. It could be it could be una olla negra. It could be una cartera negra. What do you guys think? Keep looking at the letter to see if that gives you any clues. If you keep reading, no sé qué blank tiene una olla, pero Sofía dice que no voy a hacer. It will be olla in that case. Sorry guys, I was kind of giving you guys a little chance to look over and see if you guys could figure it out. It couldn't be cinturón because again it has to be a feminine noun because it's negra. So I would think, because if you keep reading it says olla, I would think that he's gonna buy her an olla, a pot. Ella quiere una olla negra. She wants a black pot. No sé qué blank tiene una olla, pero Sofía dice que no voy a blank más de 70 pesos. And I think what we're doing here, guys, is that the reason we only have 9 words but 10 blanks is that we can repeat. Because I'm starting to kind of figure out that we're going to be repeating some words. No sé qué mercado tiene una olla. So I don't know what market has a